Hi, I'm Larry Cornish with Mark Twain St. Joseph's Hospital. We're here for another update about some of the things that are happening at Mark Twain Hospital. And today, Peggy Lucas, who's our executive director of the Hospital Foundation, is joining us because they have a whole lot of wonderful things going on that the community, I know, is dying to hear about. So we're going to let her chat for just a few minutes after I spend some time and talk to you about some of the things that the hospital in general is doing. First of all, I want to talk about patient satisfaction scores. Actually, patient satisfaction scores are one of the most sincere things that we do, and we really focus a lot on it because we know that patient satisfaction is important to everybody. And there's a lot of ways to get information, which I'll talk about in a minute. But first of all, probably the most critical department that our patients have is with the emergency department, and that's not unique. Emergency departments generally have the most upset patients because it's an emergency department.
The other for the door.
Yeah, you should be seen as an emergent patient. But I wanted to let you know that our emergency department is, we actually hire a physicians group called the Emergency Physicians Medical Group to come in and provide physicians, emergency physicians, credentialed as emergency physicians, to run our emergency department. And the Emergency Medical Physicians Group, actually, we're one of 21 hospitals that they're under contract with in California, Nevada, Hawaii even, and Arizona. And we measure patient performance, like how long it takes you from the time you register at the desk to the time you're seen by a doctor. We measure the time you're here with us as compared to other hospitals. We look to see how many people have left without being seen. In other words, they got tired of waiting and decided to go elsewhere or just go home. And the last thing I wanted to bring to your attention is that out of all 21 hospitals that EPMG provides a contract service for, we rank #1 in patient satisfaction. And that is an outstanding measure of the good work that our emergency department does for this community. So we're very proud about that. The other, a small thing, but dear to my heart, is that in patient satisfaction amongst all 37 Catholic healthcare hospitals, of which we are a part, we placed overall in all food and nutrition comparisons. Food tastes good, it's served at the right temperature, it's served politely and professionally, and all these different measurements that we have as a package. We're #3 in the whole system, of which Catholic Healthcare West is the largest healthcare system in California. Kudos to us.
All those jokes about hospital food, huh?
Yeah, yeah. In the area of clinical performance was really where the rubber meets the road. How well do we do for our inpatients that come to the hospital for their surgeries or for their illnesses? We actually get measured a whole lot of ways, and we combine different symptoms or diagnoses and bundle them up so that we can talk about how well do we do with regard to pneumonia, how well do we do with regard to heart attacks, how well we do to chronic diseases. And this data is available to anybody on the internet. There's a number of companies that actually take survey data from all the hospitals nationwide, and they manipulate it, and then they present it to the internet audience so that they can see how hospitals actually fare. And then they can compare to different hospitals. Like if somebody wanted to know, well, if I should ever have pneumonia, which local hospital should I go to? Which one has the best scores? Well, you can go on the internet, compare us to Sonora Regional Medical Center, or you can compare us to Amador, Sutter Amador Hospital, and you'll see how they do and how we do. And you know, you're not going to plan, typically people don't do that just to see how, in case they have a heart attack. But it's good information, and it's a good measure for us. So I wanted to talk just a minute about heart attacks. So we have this bundle of survey information about heart attacks. How long did it take you to see a doctor? How long, when you came through an emergency department, how long did it take before you got an aspirin? How long did it take, or did you get an aspirin on discharge? Did somebody counsel you about about smoking? Because smoking is a no-no for heart attack victims. And so this bundle of survey information is available on the website, and we are running at 95% on compliance on all of these key indicators, 95% compliance. So based upon typical scores nationwide, we're right at the top 5% of all hospitals in the nation as it relates to heart attacks and how we comply to those measurements. And we're trending quite well in most everything else as I'm looking through my list of things. And so that information's out there. Use it, and we're very proud of how we're doing on all of our clinical performance measurements. It's good stuff. One of the things that you probably don't know about is that we actually do organ donors. We belong to the Golden State Donor Services, so that if we have a patient that is obviously terminal, if the patient had so indicated on his driver's license that he would donate his organs to someone else, that we can actually harvest those, and it's a huge huge process to go through this harvesting. They bring in a team from the donor hospital. They have to do all the matching and everything, and it's really huge. It's very complicated. It involves a whole lot of process and a whole lot of people doing the right stuff. But we recently got recognized by the Golden State Donor Services for our donor organ harvesting program, which literally saves lives. More lives than
you could imagine.
Yes, more lives than you can imagine, and more lives than probably have donated the donors, just because some donors are able to donate more than just one organ. So this is a great service to our community and to people outside our community who receive these organs. And that's not a project that we broadcast. There's certainly no publicity involved with it, but we wanted to let the community know, because this is another indication of what a great little community hospital you guys have here, right here in Calvert County. So let's talk a little bit about some of the community events, and I've got 6 of them listed here. Last month, February, we did a Stuff the Van. That's where we heard that the food bank, local Human Resources Council food bank, had a need to replenish its shelves after the holiday season with food and other supplies. And with the economic downturn, of course, that's one of the reasons that the shelves are bare. And so our employees satisfaction team got together and put on a food drive here in Calvert County. And you could drop off your goods at one of our 4 family medical centers or at the hospital. And we actually filled one of our courier vans. There was not a place to sit. It was filled to the roof. We had anything in there from canned goods to toilet paper to turkeys to, you know, the back end of the van was down on its rubber stops or something. It was full. It turned out to be the biggest single donation that the HRC has ever seen, and it was all because of our employees getting together and identifying the need and just running with it. And that was in February. So guess what we're doing in March? We're now on a campaign which I call Feed the Animals, because it says right here, Furry Friends Pet Food Supply Drive. It's running during March, and again, the hospital employees are collecting desperately needed items for the animals in our community to help support HRC Calaveras, the Animal Control, and Calaveras Humane Society. And these things are like blankets and pet foods and, you know, those little baskets you carry your cats around when you're transporting them, or just dollars. But again, because of this economy, people are finding it more difficult to have money to go spend on their pets. And even some people who've been foreclosed and they've had to walk away from the house have left their pets, left their abandoned their animals, their dogs or cats or parakeets, buffalo, whatever. And so our employees have got together and we're doing this food drive during our pet food supply drive during the month of March. You can bring food, you can bring leashes, blankets, anything pet-wise.
Kennels, what do you call those? Carriers?
Yes, kennels, what do you call them, carriers?
Yeah, those things.
You can bring those to the 4 family medical centers or to the hospital, and we will divvy them out to the SPCA, to the animal shelter, to HRC, wherever they need to go. So that's exciting. Every year the American Cancer Society puts on a fundraiser called Daffodil Days, and the money raised during Daffodil Days goes to help research for cancer, as well as goes to patients who have cancer for whatever the reason, maybe to buy wigs or whatever the case may be. We once again hosted the annual kickoff luncheon called the Daffodils Day Kickoff Luncheon, oddly enough, and we're real pleased to do that for our community, and it was again a great event. The daffodils are being divvied out that were purchased. That's the fundraiser. You buy daffodil and then you can give it to somebody, and I think we're giving out the daffodils next week, as I recall. So that's exciting for us. Yesterday we took part in a job fair at Calaveras High School, and it was it had to be well attended. It's a captive audience, but every single student at Calaveras High School took part in a huge job fair on the campus. There was a lot of good organizations there giving out valuable information about jobs that they may have, and we were there with our crew to talk about the 70 some odd vocations and careers that we have here at Mark Twain St. Joseph's Hospital. We don't have openings in all of those categories, but what we wanted to do was we wanted to have a chance to talk to the kids, help them identify what type of career that they might want to get into in the next few years, because we encourage them to go away to at least a 2-year college and then get certification for a registered nurse, or to become a CT tech or a phlebotomist in the lab, or whatever the case may be. We tried to provide them some career choices and told them what not only would it pay when they completed their education and got certified or got their degree, but also how long it would take. So that was great.
It's also a way to keep our students and children from Calaveras here.
Yeah.
To provide them opportunities.
Go away,
Yeah.
get your degree, get your certification, and when you're done, there's great careers, high-paying careers right here in Calaveras County for you. So it's great.
Exactly.
And we're doing it again at Bret Harte in May, so we'll give you an update on that in May. This Saturday, Toyon Middle School is having, I don't know if it's a fundraiser or not, but they're having a fun run walk down in Valley Springs. Apparently there's a new trail down there that has been identified, and you know, you can walk along the trail along Lake Hogan or along the river or whatever, because I really don't know. But they asked us to come out and provide a mini health fair to the community on that day. So we'll be down at the Fusion Grill Saturday morning for the walk. And if you happen to be down there and participating, stop by the booth and we'll give you some health information, maybe throw a water bottle at you or something. But that should be fun. And the other thing I wanted to talk about as far as community events, during this economic downturn, we've really had to tighten our belt up a notch or two ourselves. And one of the things that we did was that we went out to the community and worked with them to negotiate contracts. And when I talk about negotiating contracts, I'm talking about things like maintenance contracts for landscaping, maintenance contracts for our heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems, housekeeping services at our 4 family medical centers. And I just wanted to thank the community, those of you that are involved in this, on working with us. We want to keep these contracts local. We want to give back to the community, if you will, for the great work that you do. And by and large, everybody stepped up to the plate and negotiated favorably on maintenance contracts with us, and we're real pleased to say that we didn't lose anybody. But we did get some favorable contracts, and everybody seems to be happy. So thank you, community, for working with us on that. And the last item that I want to talk about before I turn it over to Mrs. Lucas is that I want to talk about some physician recruitment activities that we have going on. In the next 6-8 months, you will see somewhere around 5 new physicians joining the medical staff at Mark Twain St. Joseph's Hospital. Roy Sheldon, who does our physician recruitment, has done an admirable job on identifying not just people, but really well-educated, experienced physicians with great recommendations in the areas of internal medicine, 2 family practice. One of them is a female family practice physician, a urologist, and a gastroenterologist who will be coming to your community to provide care to those that are looking for those particular specialties or just looking for a family doctor. And family doctors are at a premium right now. We've heard a lot of people who are having trouble finding a family practice physician who will accept them as new patients. And with the 2 new coming on board, I think that's going to fill a gap that we've been identifying for several years now. And that's kind of what we've been doing here in the last few months. We've been really busy, as you can sense by the intensity of my talk here today, but we've been busy and we've been doing a good job at it. So Peggy, you want to talk a little bit?
Sure. Well, the foundation was formed in 1984 by a handful of dedicated people who recognized the need to bring financial assistance to purchase equipment. It's always very difficult for a hospital, and a small hospital even more so, to keep up with trends and keep basically up with the standard, not the standard of care, but the state-of-the-art care that we like to have in the community. So in 1987, actually, the hospital, the foundation helped the hospital buy its first regular analog mammography. Didn't even exist then. But we brought a new mammography system to the hospital. And since then, over 3,500 patients a year use that service. So it's a very, very important service for the community, and we were happy to provide that. In 1997, the hospital was rebuilt, and the foundation raised over $1 million to support that cause. And it was the only rural hospital in the whole state of California that was rebuilt during that time. In 2002, the foundation raised $200,000 toward the new Community Health Education Center, and I know an awful lot of groups out in the community are able to use this education center. It's a wonderful resource for organizations and groups countywide. In 2002, we also helped support the purchase of a nuclear medicine camera, which is used day in and day out at the hospital. We've gotten hospital beds, heart monitor, defibrillators, and in 2007, we helped bring in a new Ultra CT scanner. So there's been an awful lot of projects that the foundation, which is the community, I might add, it's just people in the community who understand the importance of having a thriving hospital for the area. Now last year we started a campaign for digital mammography, and I'm really proud to say that we have completed the campaign for our first machine, because we do need to have 2 machines to serve the entire county. So we have the funds for the first machine, and we'll be installing that in the next few months and hope to have a real celebration about September and open the service for digital mammography. Now the plan is to do a second one at a women's center in Angels Camp. That's sort of our next vision or dream. So there's more work to be done, but we've come a long way, and we're really happy to have this service for everyone. Not just the women, but men and families in the county. So in order to make this happen, we have to do activities and events and so forth. So last year we started Doris Barger, who is the founder of the foundation, and she gave the lead gift for this campaign. We did a golf tournament in her honor to support this campaign. And we're going to have our second annual one in June at Greenhorn Creek on June 1st. So any of you golfers out there, give us a call. We'd love to have you take part. And it's really a fun day. And we're going to sort of, well, I guess share it with the public at Irish Days in Murphy. And Murphy's, we're going to have Mrs. Barger in a pink Thunderbird leading the group. And we'll all hoot and holler about the wonderful campaign, and so please look for us in the parade. And then in last October, we started a project called Pink in the Night, and we supplied pink lights for all the merchants in Murphy's, and Main Street was lit up on October 1st, and all the merchants had their stores in pink lights for the month of October. A lot of them had little campaigns and gave discounts and, collected money for the campaign. So it's a really, it's a wonderful event that people really got behind. So we're expanding it, and we're hoping to go to Angels Camp, and the dream is to have the whole county of Calaveras lit up in pink lights. And it shares, it's breast cancer awareness. It's just bringing to the front of mind the importance of, mammograms, of taking care of your health, and it really did, that worked. And we also identified a lot of survivors who have helped with the campaign. So that was just, it's a wonderful event. Now, this happens to be our 25th anniversary. So we're ready in November. We're going to give a gala event. We're planning it now. We're not sure what gala event means quite yet, but November 14th at Ironstone. We'd love to have you join us. If you'd like to help put it on, all the better. So that's sort of what we're up to. Everything successful that's happened has happened because of you, the community, and we thank you for that. Larry, something more to say?
No, that's it. Thank you very much, Peggy, for joining us today. We'll have to do this more often.
Yeah.
There's always so much going on in the foundation. And thank you, Pine Tree, for having us once again. And
thank you so much.
We'll see you sometime in June or so. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.